Senior Hamas official was interviewed by CNN. Oh, God.
Nearly 2 years after Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th.
I'm going to keep it $1.50. This is my least favorite Hamas official, for the record. That sounds so funny when I say it, but I think out of all of the Hamas leadership roles, this guy is one of the worst, straight up. These are all the Politburo people, for the record, so I'm not, Just make no mistake, when you got CNN interviewing a Hamas official, just remember, there's probably a reason for it. Yo, is this dude Catholic, Ash Wednesday? No, he has that. I didn't know this as well, but that's a marker of being pious. It's because he prays so much that his forehead is like, he has a forehead scar from praying.
Began on October 7th. We spent 78 years under the occupation, under the humiliation, under oppression, under repression, under killing, under displacement. Now, why a world just focus on October 7th?
Ghazi Hamad is a senior Hamas official, sitting for his first U.S. TV interview in months.
But before October 7th, Israel had never unleashed this level of death and destruction on Gaza before. How can you look at me with a straight face and tell me that you accept no responsibility whatsoever for what has happened in the 2 years since?
What is the option is left for the Palestinians to do? First time that Palestinians have...
Dude, CNN is so shameless, bro. Come on, dog. Like, come on, man. This shit was funny when they were doing it, like a year ago. It's crazy when like everyone in the international community has recognized that these dudes are experiencing a genocide. And you're still like, I know Israel's doing a genocide, but why don't you actually take responsibility over the genocide that Israel is doing to your people, to your family members, okay, to all of your loved ones? Why don't you recognize that? Why don't you take responsibility for the genocide that Israel is doing? Like we used to joke, they'll ask Hamas to condemn Hamas, like they have, but it's crazy to do it right now still.
In this Israeli-Palestinian conflict?
What gives you the right to decide that Palestinian women and children should be sacrificed on the altar of your resistance?
No.
Dog, who's killing them? Who's killing them? Who's killing them? You're still being like, yo, Israel wouldn't have done the genocide if it wasn't for you. Look at you. You went and did it. This is unironically the same shit that I guess at the time Western media would have pulled if they knew the extent of the Holocaust because of how much they have a tendency to just like defend power. Like this is like pulling a Jewish partisan and being like, don't you think your behavior is responsible for the death camps? Why won't you admit that you were engaging in moral degeneracy? Why won't you admit that you were trying to destroy the Western supremacist standards set by the good-natured Aryan folk? Don't you feel like you have a share of the blame here? Israel is not a tsunami, man. Israel is not an earthquake. It's not a volcano. What do you mean sacrifice them at the altar of resistance? Like as though there is no way to stop it. You already know. What were you wearing, I say? Nuts. God, it's just, please, man, please just have one fucking guy, please. Like, just get an Arab dude, man. I'm sorry. I'm done with this shit. No, don't get a fucking dude from the Tel Aviv office or the Jerusalem office to fucking interview this guy. What is this? What is this? Like, this is supposed to be a dialogue. You're over here being like, 23 months into a genocide, and you're like, well, don't you feel like you're responsible? Look what you made us do. Why? Why is it that the dude interviewing the Hamas guy has to be the Jerusalem correspondent? Why? You don't got no unbiased reporters? Yeah, I'm saying it, by the way. Unbiased. It goes both ways, motherfuckers. What is this? It's the same principle with the New York Times, dude. They're like, they got hella dudes working at the editorial staff whose children are currently doing a genocide, and that's not some kind of bias, right? Kids who are in the IDF and their parents are at the New York Times, as though that's not going to somehow play a role in their opinion when they're covering it. Meanwhile, they stopped every Arab from taking place in the Middle Eastern correspondence because they thought there might be sympathies. Sympathies like what? Recognizing the humanity of the slain population? Wow! How great To be fair, anyone employed by CNN would have conducted the interview the same way. Yeah, but this motherfucker dabbing on him. It's ridiculous. That's what's so frustrating about it. Yes, you're right that mainstream media is collectively going to be deep-throating Israel no matter what, as they always have. But holy you don't even get anything out of this conversation if you're just going to spend the entire time you're like, don't you think Hamas is responsible for Israel's genocide? That is the question here. Israel's doing a genocide. Don't you think Hamas is responsible for Israel doing a genocide? What kind of question is this?
All the time we are sacrificing, we are fighting.
But I am asking you about the civilian deaths in Gaza and what gives you the right to decide it's a price worth paying. That child can die. It's okay.
What makes Israel? What gives Israel the right? What gives Israel the right? Who's killing them? It's not Hamas that's killing them. It's Israel killing them. What the f? Israel's starving them. Is there ever a point where Israel does something and it's Israel's fault, or is it always someone else? Like, I cannot believe it. Genocide is the crime of all crimes. The international community in unison have collectively come to the understanding that Israel is conducting a genocide. You are in the minority at this point. Not only are you oblivious to the reality, you are deliberately obtuse. You are a genocide denier. You're getting Hasbara trolled us on. I'm sorry. It's ridiculous. It is so ridiculous, dude. What the hell are we doing? Yeah, I know he got his ass beat by settlers. Remember when he did the West Bank coverage? It was this guy, Jeremy Diamond. That's what I said is the CNN Jerusalem correspondent. Jeremy Diamond, a journalist at CNN's Jerusalem bureau, posted a picture of his social media on Monday showing the aftermath of someone smashing the back window of his vehicle. When he was chilling in the West Bank, he certainly did not appreciate the way that Israeli society broadly was treating him. There's no accountability, said the father of the killed Palestinian-American Kamal Musallet, who flew from the U.S. to bury his son. We demand the United States government do something about it. Jesus Christ. I didn't forget about that. I know. We've covered his coverage on this broadcast. It's just crazy.
Because it's in order to fulfill our resistance.
As Hamas, we are fighting for the interests of the people. We don't want our people to be killed. Don't put the problem on the shoulder of Hamas. No, I think
Again, sir, when I speak with Israeli officials, I press them about what they are doing in Gaza. When I'm speaking with Hamas officials, I press them for...
Okay, but Israel is the one killing the Palestinians. It's not Hamas. That makes no sense. Like, he's literally saying, why do you want emancipation for your people when Israel will literally kill every single Palestinian as they are currently doing? How dare you? That's the question. Frame it appropriately. How ridiculous. Yeah, can you imagine CNN talking to any Ukrainian military official and being like, why do you keep allowing your children to be in the way of Russian rockets? And the civilian casualties in Ukraine are horrifying, but not even a magnitude similar to the civilian death count in Gaza, because one is a genocide. This doesn't mean what Russia is doing is just. It, of course, is not. It is unimaginably unjust. It's incredibly cruel. It's incredibly violent. But there are differences here between a genocide and state violence. Both are unjust. Both are a crime. One is the crime of all crimes. This is why the genocide designation was very important, which is precisely why so many people didn't want to say it. 90% civilians. 90%. Unless you somehow magically believe that the IDF is also Hamas, this is directly in the hands of Israel.
Your responsibility.
But some Palestinians have had enough. Our message to Hamas is stop gambling with us, this man says. You are disconnected from reality, especially since the Hamas leadership is outside of Gaza.
I want to send a message to Hamas. We talk to people, talk by people. Stop the or we are die here.
But Hamad doesn't seem interested in hearing those voices.
Ask those people what their take on Israel is, and you'll get a very different attitude. Of course they're frustrated. Of course they're done. What the do you mean? Hamas recognizes that as well. They literally have been like, we'll do whatever you want. We'll do a Palestinian National Committee. We will no longer control the Gaza Strip. Israel goes, well, doesn't matter. We're going to kill another 10,000 Palestinian children. This is what's been going on over and over again. Those people are understandably frustrated with Hamas as well. Of course they are. Hamas is the governing party here. It makes total sense. If all you have known is bloodshed for the past 2 years and you're like, enough is enough, please do anything to put an end to it. If you think that Hamas is not doing that, I don't know what to tell you. Look at the reality. Look at the objective reality. They don't have to be perfect, and they're certainly not. How would Hamas end it? Nobody seems to know. Great question. If you ask Israel, it was release the hostages. Okay, they've been trying to do that since October 10, 2023. Israel's like, release the hostages and we'll end it, except we won't. Because every time you try to release the hostages, we say we're going to kill you dead after we receive all the hostages. Israel's also killed numerous negotiators and tried to kill the rest of the negotiating party in Doha. Like, that was a month ago. What are we talking about? Oh, these guys, they're just not serious about peace. Like, what the do you mean? If you still maintain this level of smoke, I don't think it was Hamad, but I remember one of their senior leaders did say many civilians would die, but it was a price worth paying. Of course, they blame, I think it was him. Of course, they blame, the blame for killing them is on Israel, but I can understand why someone in Gaza would look at that and say, those guys in Qatar, they're not here with us. Yes, this, of course, still betrays the way that people see Yahya Sinwar, who is more responsible for October 7 than any number of these people. And Yahya Sinwar died in Gaza fighting till his very last breath. So obviously, when these guys are saying, when Palestinians understandably are frustrated with the Hamas Politburo, who are not in Gaza, even though their families are, and their families have been slaughtered by Israel as well, for the record, these guys are not even the responsible party for October 7. It's the militant wing. And Israel has killed all of the military leaders of Hamas, almost all of them. Israel has also simultaneously killed the principal negotiators like Ismail Haniyeh. But ultimately, understand that the person who's asking this question, right? The person who's asking this question knows better. He's not directly connected, or rather, he shouldn't be directly connected to the incidents that he is covering. As a journalist, if you're truly unbiased, you can't ask a question like that. This is not unbiased journalism that seeks to arrive at some sort of truth. This is pure propaganda. Yes, you can rewind Twitch streams in real time now.
I know. I have seen
this is not it. There's more.
I have seen this video.
Sir,
yes.
There is more.
I know people are suffering. There are some people blame Hamas.
Why will you not listen to the voices of Palestinian people in Gaza?
Look. Yeah, I know. This is not the whole story.
These people who want Hamas to surrender, lay down its weapons, and leave the Gaza Strip.
I think no one asked Hamas to surrender. We will never surrender. These people under abnormal circumstances, we put him under target and killing and massacre. What do you expect for people to say?
Hamad is eager to tout.
Yeah, he's saying that, like, yeah, they're experiencing a genocide. Of course they want it to end no matter what. It's understandable. Also, yeah, he's not interviewing him. He's debating him, which is so silly. Jesus Christ, dude.
What is the benefit of October 7 now? Now, when the award now, if you look to the General Assembly yesterday, when about 194 people opened their eyes and looked to the atrocity, to brutality of Israel, and all of them, they condemned Israel. We waited for this moment for 77 years. I think this is a golden moment for the world to change the history. I think that now the world is a change. The history is a change now.
In your view, 65,000 deaths is worth it in order to achieve what you've achieved.
Look, I know the price is so high, but I'm asking again, what is the option?
It's worth
what
it.
What is the option left to the Palestinians? You know what? We waited for a peaceful process, for a peaceful means since 1993, since Oslo Agreement till now.
The prospects for peace seem as far away as ever. 2 weeks after Israel tried to kill Hamad and other senior Hamas officials not far from where we sat.
Yeah, dude, exactly. Why didn't you bring that up in the beginning, dude? Perhaps that is an important part of the consideration here. Like, think about that. Think about that. He's like, Israel tried to kill this man in Doha while he was supposed to get together to sign off on another peace agreement that Israel was not going to follow through on. That's nuts. How can you literally still maintain this argument that Israel is invested in any semblance of peace when they are quite literally doing a genocide? And then you go, well, you know, you asked for it. You asked for it and you're getting it. You just genuinely don't think that Palestinians are human beings. No matter what level of political prominence that Palestinian you're talking to has, you must not think that they're humans. You must not think that they're animals either, to be fair, because I feel like a lot of Americans care more about dogs they would see on the side of the street than they do about like the way they're talking about 65,000, which is an undercount by severe amounts, by magnitudes. I'm not saying Hamad is some great guy, but they would never interview an Israeli official like this. They have 100 times more blood on their hands than this guy could ever have. Exactly. And also, again, not even directly related to October 7, regardless. These are members of the Politburo. You can say, oh, they must have known, right? But the official consideration here is that this was conducted primarily by the military apparatus of Hamas, which is a separate entity. Also, Israel is so relentless. They could just as easily bomb Jeremy and this guy while they're having this conversation, and then America would apologize to Israel for the crime of interviewing a Hamas official. So I don't know why this guy's talking like this, as though he's also not imminently collateral damage. Yeah, well, you were a human shield that Hamas was using you.
Full process for a peaceful means since 1993, since Oslo Agreement, till now.
The prospects for peace seem as far away as ever. 2 weeks after Israel tried to kill Hamad and other senior Hamas officials not far from where we sat down.
I think it is a miracle because the rockets are very close to us. We are under target, and it was a brutal attack on us. So I think it was long and very strong message to us and even to Qatari that we are not interested in negotiation. We want to kill, we want to destroy, we want to assassinate. This is our own policy to handle the whole situation. Everything now is frozen.
Hamas's demands have also not shifted.
We insisted to go to the comprehensive deal, to retain all the hostages, either alive or dead. And we said frankly, we can return them in 24 hours. But Israel, they refused.
Well, they have conditions for ending the war. They want Hamas to be out of power, and they want Hamas to disarm. Are you willing to abandon power in Gaza and lay down your weapons?
Look, Hamas is part of the Palestinian fabric. You could not exclude Hamas. But as I said again and again, regarding the ruling of Gaza, we are ready to be out of the ruling of Gaza. We have no problem with this.
Yeah, exactly.
Over the course of
Exactly. They've said it. They said it so many times. Israel is the one that said, no. They literally said, we will no longer rule Gaza. Give it to a technocratic committee. Of course, as far as people who have sympathies towards Hamas, or Hamas basically is a catch-all term at this point in the way that Israel uses it, and the way that many people use it as like any sort of militant resistance against Israeli occupation. Yeah, that's not going to go away. Of course, people are going to want to take up arms against Israel. But as far as disarming the Palestinian population, good luck. Like, what do you mean? There's a genocide going on, and your demand is that the genociding party get to seize all of the weapons of the people that are defending against the genocider party, killing all of their neighbors and themselves. What a ridiculous expectation. I hate this.
Exclude Hamas. But as I said again and again, regarding the ruling of Gaza, we are ready to be out of the ruling of Gaza. We have no problem with this. The arm of Hamas is a legitimate and legal weapons which used all the time against occupation. It is not a terrorist weapon.
How does this war end? Because over the course of our conversation, I've seen very little that suggests any willingness on your part to compromise.
Because it's not a war, it's a genocide. And you refuse to acknowledge it. Something that virtually every single international organ of justice has recognized. War is conducted between two parties, state actors, one that has less power, one that has more power, sure. This is a captive population, an occupied belligerent power doing a genocide in an open-air prison. No one in, no one out without Israel's go-ahead. It is ridiculous.
I think it is easy. I think Mr. Trump and the world could ask the Netanyahu in order to stop the war, to stop the genocide in Gaza.
Do you have any confidence that he will do that?
I don't know. I think we tested them many times, but I think it is not easy to trust Mr. Trump or to trust the American administration. All the time they put the glasses of Israel. They adopt the Israel position.
This was a ridiculous interview. I don't want to call it an interview. Look at the title. Senior Hamas official defends high price of October 7th Palestinians, saying attack created golden moment. Come on, man. What a shame. What a deep shame. The difference between both, this is some Nuremberg trial